Feel the bass. Feel the bass, bass, This beat is going live on Z Den Den Ben Den Ben Den 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 Ben Den Ben Den Den Ben Den 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 Ben Den dripping like water.
Well, lovely, lovely sounds coming from Provis there. It's good to have you on the couch once again. You know, I haven't seen you in a long time, and I've been wondering, like, Mkomana, you know, when people got to know about Probits, everyone knew Probits as the beatboxer.
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering, has Probits completely shifted his focus to other things or lost interest, you know, in beatboxing? What's been happening with the beatboxing?
Nah, I mean, I've been doing everything behind the scenes, you know. I just do one thing in public and then, you know, the rest behind the scenes, you know. Like the beatboxing, I never stopped beatboxing. Even the dancing, I still dance as well. I've been doing acting, you know, I've been doing comedy, you know, with the series Captain For Me that we're doing. And yeah, I mean, I do everything, even when I'm not, you know, posting it or whatever, or producing any content. But, you know, I keep practicing.
But tell me something about the beatboxing. Do you then, like, make these bits into actual beats, like bits?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been learning. Yeah, to become a digital producer. I mean, but I love beatboxing more, you know. It takes most of my time.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be coming back to you throughout the show. Well, it is good to be back on the couch once again. That was Probits opening up the show for us. And my name is Shamencha Sweka, and my co-host today is Mugabe Chigada.
Thanks, Shasha. Football is certainly an obsession. Please don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. On Zim Papers, we are Zim Papers Television Network. And on YouTube, we are ZTN. On our website, we are ztn.co.zw.
Well, the Couch Squad is ready for the game as well. And I've got to say, you guys look stunning.
For
No, we're too fine to do Gareth Bale items.
Oh, wow.
No, we don't do Gareth Bale items.
It's for me.
It's for me.
It's for me.
Well, a big shout out to For Me for dressing you guys.
Yeah.
What have I been missing? I mean, I miss you guys so much. What's been going on?
Hey, lots of stuff. You missed out on Mark Ngwaze. He came with his Sungura and English. But Mo missed you more. I think he was like,
really? Is that true?
I don't know.
Yeah, I really missed Shasha. You know, the vivacious look,
The way she dresses, the voice. We're here for the football. Yeah, no, but I really missed her. I'm so happy you're here. You know, it changes everything.
Well, I miss you guys too a lot. And it's good that I'm here. This is The Couch you are watching here on ZTN. Please don't go away to stay with us. Welcome back to The Couch. Today we discuss football first, the resumption of football in Zimbabwe, and later on we will be talking about the upcoming game against Botswana away from home. Now, the Sports and Recreation Commission will have a position on Thursday on whether football and other high-risk sports can resume. The Commission announced yesterday that they are waiting for responses from the affected disciplines on whether they have the capacity to resume while observing agreed protocols. But then, Mugo, you know, our interest here on The Couch is really on football. Do they have the capacity?
Yes, a positive response from ZIFA and PSL would then leave the ministry with the responsibility of probably giving the green light to football to resume. This is that all the football loving fans have been waiting for. More. Can it really happen now after a year of lack of football in the country?
I think, yeah, it can happen, but not as soon as Thursday. Like Shasha is saying, the Sports and Recreation Commission has said there's given us a date. But I want to say it's a good start. I think it's an opportunity for ZIFA to actually come up with a good document or a good position and prepare whatever they can to make sure that football comes back.
Marco, by Thursday, ZIFA and PSL, whichever of the two organizations will come up, they will have to go to SRC and say, this is what we have put in place. We are ready to play. We've got the capacity in terms of the finances, in terms of the administrative capabilities. You know what,
Mugo? The PSL has got a document that they've worked on, they've crafted. I believe that, but they're not ZIFA. SRC said it is the football, the associations that need to come with these documents. Right now, ZIFA in a red race with Philip Chiangwa in terms of getting credit for who made Patrice Motsepe president of CAF. It seems that that's the one thing that they are preoccupied with, not the retain of the game. I'm afraid, my thought really is like, ZIFA were pushing for the return of football when they weren't ready for the return of football. Because right now these players will need to be tested. And there's a line there from the SRC that says you need to show that financially you are ready.
It's quite good you mentioned some of the conditions that SRC have really put forward. Charmaine will actually be mentioning some of those more. From what you have observed since last year, we remember in September, ZIFA announced that they will resume football, but there was no football to talk about for the past 12 months. Do they have the capacity?
Mugo.
Of course, actually, I'll cut you short on that one. When the RC announced yesterday, they mentioned that they are not in any position to really actually finance some of these associations, highlighting that ZIFA at one point actually received money from FIFA, and they were hoping that they had kept some of that money to ensure that they resume football. I
would be very, very surprised if ZIFA is prepared. ZIFA is never prepared for anything. For anything. Huh? Mug, do you know that we've got a match on the 25th? Do you think ZIFA is prepared for that match? No. And do you think they are prepared for the resumption of football? No, they haven't done anything. You know, ZIFA is always, they don't act, they react. Things happen and then they start trying to run around.
The SRC, ZIFA didn't see the SRC coming. No, they didn't. They didn't think the SRC would come as soon as they did. The SRC said, like, fair and fine.
They continued to push.
Yeah, they continued to push. They thought the SRC, you remember the statement that came out, let's not politicize this thing. You know what, let's pull together for the good of football. The SRC said, like, fair and fine. Go ahead and play. But we don't have money. You have the money. Make it happen.
Yeah. Charmaine, there must be some method of some sorts.
Oh, we'll definitely get into that. Not forgetting, we do have a Pro Bits right here on the show. You know, Pro, it's been a while since you last came to the show, and a lot has happened. And to be specific, I'm talking about COVID-19 pandemic. You know, a lot of business production was really down, and now I'm trying to think musicians. You know, no shows, no tours. How have you been handling that?
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that we managed to learn new things before the pandemic. You know, I mean, selling stuff online, you know, monetizing stuff, and, you know, always creating content. So, I mean, you get to survive, you know. I mean, every business was affected. So, we were also affected, but we managed to pull through, you know. So, it was about working smart and not working hard.
But Zukufai, the business, Zufa. Well, let's talk about your music. You recently dropped a video for Bless You, and I must commend you. The visuals are hectic. They're nice. Was that all your idea, or, you know, there were people working around that?
I've been working with Charles Mugaviri, the film director. I mean, so I think we have a creative understanding, you know. That's how we managed to come up with that video. And when I saw this, most times my director you know, but with him it's like, yo man, I love your ideas, let's put it into book. So yeah.
But generally, how's it doing?
Well, it's doing great. It's doing great. I mean, you know, the views are organic. You know, people are loving it. You know, it's growing every day, and people are loving the idea. Because I mean, it's always hard to merge hip hop and comedy at the same time. You know, but I mean, it's actually working. Because I mean, it's different. You know, people get to laugh and you know, cheer for the bars. And yeah.
Okay. Well, before we go back to the serious stuff, but you said I got something.
All right. Okay, so here's the freestyle for Bless You. I feel like this song is a sculpture ndiribenura ndikushanda ndikusima ndikukura ndikusakura ngoma yavapinza munyatwa yavaparira maflows nemitsara ndikuchuza ndikusarura. I'm turning my flows into sheets ndikuwarira ndikuvhura magoni esava indivharira ndosvika pasini ndochinja masini mapango ifeni vanoshaura bhini zigondora masini narini ndafunga mazano kutora matano ekubvuta chigaro nemitsara yenharo. Not looking for ratings. Check where I've been, check where I am, check where I be, check who I'm with, check on my gram. I'm due for the gain. Mayonnaise cabbage, musical savage, lyrical rhyme. Moving forward, I mega mind. I stick to my grind. I run to the finish. On breakfast I grind. I'm losing my spirit.
It's your boy Hope. Danzi Gondorara Uruara. Limited edition. Very limited edition.
Thank you so much for that performance. We'll be coming back to you throughout the show for to know more about your music. Now, from yesterday's SRC announcement, part of the important points to note where sports associations were lobbying for vaccination, rapid testing to be done, and a periodic officer.
That is very important in terms of what, and of course, given a
and with the starting point of this came as a beautiful surprise.
And other people around me, I'd always hoped that one day I would own my own home.
We contribute to the outcome of owning a house, people who are in the informal sector.
Living in Zimbabwe where things are really difficult, it's great to know that I don't have to worry about signing the papers and they said, this is your home. So I definitely encourage other people to take something like this on.
Various social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Zim TV Network. On YouTube, we for all the lower divisions do that. They have dropped that condition and tried to look at what are the neighboring. We'll cross over to Dr. Soman Mudariki, a disaster medicine practitioner who also
as a disaster medicine practitioner and a sports physician, would like to comment on the developments that happening measures that the Sports and Recreation Commission announced yesterday that should pave way for a return to sport amongst all the 32 sport codes or associations within our nation. It is good to note that in spite of the challenges that the sporting fraternity is facing, there is a possibility that there can be a return to safe sport within our nation. As you are all aware, sport is a major generation of foreign currency in its millions, and wreaking havoc within our nation. It led to the disruption of sporting activities across the ministries, so it fit to relax some of the requirements that were earlier on required to facilitate and to see the safe return to sport.
But Doctor, now fears are ZIFA can submit a great blueprint which will not be successfully implemented on the ground, or which is unsustainable. How sustainable is it for PSL action to resume, from a medical perspective?
Hence, the return to sport, safe sport, is a positive development, and I believe with the relaxations where the testing will not only be PCR but even the rapid antigens, which are generally cheaper and affordable, will lead to more closer monitoring. Not necessarily mean that we do away with our public health interventions that have been ties, as these have been proven to be very, very efficacious in terms of fighting and warding off COVID-19. And also, it was quite welcome to note that the sporting authorities also highlighted that they'll be lobbying for the vaccination rollout program to be extended to this in prevention of severe forms of COVID illness, hence preventing needless deaths to COVID. So these interventions, vaccination, masking up, social distancing, protection of amongst the
as well as Harare City Football Club. So guys, you heard it. That was
say okay how many times a day, but look, he raises pertinent points. We're for testing, isn't it? The clubs will tell you that last lacked some conditions, made it a little bit easier. And now looking at them to say, okay, it is you, we need to write to the SRC. Back in the day, we used to say, no, now the boys in the SRC squad, the SRC has chested it down, has played it into space. And now we're looking at ZIFA. Look, there is the ball, go attack it and score.
More a former striker, there is the ball. Could you have scored playing at Ghana's under Bambo? That's where ZIFA finds themselves in.
Yeah. I want to first of all comment on the vaccinations. I think what the doctor said is very pertinent, but on vaccinations, I believe we should just we're not reinventing anything. Let's look at what others have done. No soccer player has been vaccinated anyway. Why? So I don't think we should start vaccinating soccer players or these high risk sports, because all soccer players that have contracted the virus, they've recovered very quickly. Why not finish off with the frontline workers that have been taking care of the masses? Why not finish off with the over 60s? And then eventually we come to the less vulnerable group. So for me, for vaccinations, it's a big no. Let's take care of the frontline workers first. And then for coming to your question where you say it's an open check, I'm first with the goalkeeper. Yeah, I'm supposed to score. But I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of, like what Marco has been saying about the testing. ZIFA gave PSL money last year. Teams returned for training. They were tested. So the money was used up. Where is the money going to come back from? To come from? So there's really a need for PSL to now sit again with the clubs and then go back to ZIFA if they're going to look for a sponsor or who, but the ball is in their court. They really need.
Yeah, I think Marco, it's important to go back to Mo's point on the players not being really the candidates for vaccination. I think from a FIFA's perspective, it was an ethics issue. Are the football players the most vulnerable? No, but at the end of the day, should we leave them to become the super spreaders? It's a no again. I think you should have a take on that one.
No, yeah, I do. I mean, and look, these vaccines that the PSO who used to vaccinate, they're not the ones that government is importing, is they? I wouldn't want to believe that. If these vaccines are coming under the guideline that have been set up by the Ministry of Health, these are private players that are importing the vaccine under the watchful eye of government. Will say, okay, well done to the PSO because you're coming at your own cost importing the vaccine, just like other employers are doing, which is a good thing. But one thing, Mugo, that I don't see happening is all the 18 clubs having COVID-19 compliant officers. I'm trying to think.
You know what, Marco? we are really going to go deep into the different groups of clubs that we have in PSO and look at their capacity in terms of having the officers that you're talking about. But for now, I think we need to go back a little bit. Flashback will make this very exciting. This is not the first time that ZIFA have said football will return. Let's take a look at this.
Like I said in our last press conference, the doctors and the competition committee are looking on the resumption of our football. We have earmarked September for our resumption of
football. In September, football is back. That was Kamambo. to really caught him. That was last year, and football did not return.
Did he give a timeline? Did he say it's coming back next week? Which September?
He said in September. That was around. That was after that meeting with
Did he say September 2020? He said September.
September last year. Up to now, we don't have.
No, you know what? Like Marco has said, ZIFA is never prepared. ZIFA is never prepared for anything. Like we are sitting here right now, they are in shock that the SRC had said, go ahead. They're now starting to run around, okay, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? What are we going to say on Thursday? It has always been like that. If you talk to ZIFA right now, they'll tell you, yeah, we are coming back. But they never do.
Which really brings us to the point that at the end of the day, I think it is PSO that have to push. And if we are talking about PSO, I think, Charmaine, you can talk to us about the caliber of clubs that we have in PSO.
Well, we have tried to group them, and hopefully we have done justice. There is the traditional giants, Dynamos, Highlanders and Caps United, and the drive behind these have been the fans that attend matches. But this time around, it will be matches without fans. What does it mean to them financially and to the excitement of the game? No fans, you know? No fans at all.
He say that Dynamos is playing before an empty stadium because those guys are waiting for that money to come. They want it. They need it. Caps United, you know, with their strikes and everything else, they signed players and they let them go. Contracts expired. They need the money. Same with Highlanders. These clubs survive on get takings. It's not like they have membership where you say every month you need to follow up your membership by paying a certain amount. No, they need to play, not only play, they need to play well. So for these big three, they're in trouble. They are in big, big trouble. And also it brings then the question, I asked on my Facebook page the other day and said, would people who are by the floods at Rufaro there stay at home when Dynamos is playing right next door? I mean, that's one thing that we all guys need to take into account and say, if we couldn't stop the ghetto youths from going to Mount Soji Love,
will you stop
Dynamos
when
fans
Dynamos
coming?
is playing at Rufaro Stadium?
Will you?
That's an exciting angle, but exciting angle. But what we are looking at, do they have capacity to operate
for me
without the fans?
For me, for the big three, yeah, I think Caps will be most hard hit. Highlanders has got an organized fan group, so they can manage somehow. Dynamos has got sponsors, so I think in the meantime, I think they can manage. They can manage, but Caps. Something needs to be done. I think they really need a lot of assistance of the big three.
And then on that note, we've got another group that is referred to as the financially strong in PSO. Let's just take a look at those. There's FC Platinum, there's Ngezi Platinum, there's Triangle, there's Chicken Inn. Those, I think, they can really form their own league and go on and on, maybe for the rest of the year. FC Platinum is ready to play tomorrow, I think.
Oh, look, yeah, this can play, but will they give you the traction that football is being played? No. So what? If I was but I'm not, I would say, have FC Platinum at Mandava Mogo, have Ngezi Platinum at the Baobab, have Triangle at Gibo, have Chicken Inn in Blawayo, and group your 18 teams into 4 groups. And say you have Group A that comprises FC Platinum, Dynamos, and other small boys playing at Mandava. You're making football return gradually. What you wouldn't want is to send, what's this Yabos team? Krembon Bullets to Kariba to play. You'll be told to go to Kariba. Because the cost of going to Kariba.
If Yabo is listening,
he's a friend of mine. I will tell him. Because look, the cost of going to Kariba, it's just way too much. It's just way too much. So, I mean, if you group them, then let's football return 4 groups. Just play regionally. We are easing our way into it.
Well, we do have another group,
yeah.
And this is a group where clubs are owned by companies and institutions, or have a relationship somehow with a company or institution. And the list include Harare City, ZPC, Kariba, Black Rhinos, Cranbourne, like you mentioned, Manica Diamonds, and Hirentals.
I think this group probably is the most hard hit. You look at Harare City. The council is failing to pay its employees, those that actually do the maintenance of the city and making sure that the city is going. Not even the players. They can't even pay their employees. ZPC Kariba, the story is the same. ZESA has been having its own issues, and yeah, for them to put money to football in this environment, it's very difficult. If you look at the army teams, I don't want to believe both army teams will survive. If we start today, like the SRC has suggested, if we start on Thursday, I think the army is going to drop one of the teams and just say, okay, let's focus on one. The other one can just, because it's not possible to handle those 2 teams financially, and because we are all affected.
You will actually be surprised more that the likes of Black Rhinos, ZPC Kariba will actually march on compared to the other teams that are there. That then gives take us to another special group, those that are individually owned. There's Caps United comes back again. There's Yada. There's Bulawayo Chiefs. You will actually be surprised that those teams may actually struggle compared to Black Rhinos, your Manica Diamonds, and Harare City.
Yeah, you know what, Mugo? To be honest with you, we love the game. We love football. But it's not the most important thing at the moment. You know, it's not the most important thing at the moment. So for a council then to sit like Harare City, you know, we know that their priorities are skewed. We all know that. But even in their own way of thinking, their skewed way of thinking, do you believe they will say, let's put money into football? At the, you know, it's you know, to say, okay, somebody would argue then, why doesn't government put money into football? Government would tell you, we want to buy vaccines. And you'd say, yes, sir, you're doing the right thing because you're prioritizing life. The game will need to come back, but somebody needs to pick the tab. Who picks the tab?
Incredible points that you are bringing up at a time when on Thursday, PSO have to go through ZIFA and say, we are ready, we have got the financial capacity. But from the way you are highlighting the problems and challenges that the clubs could actually face, it really paints another picture. I don't know, maybe ProBits could keep the beat going.
Well, Pro, no follow up with it.
Yeah, no, but I struggle money FIFA.
So
that's his far.
Or you know, go meet up FIFA.
No go meet up FIFA.
Okay, so now let's take a look at your acting. You know, you do a lot. Let's start with the skits that you do. Do you sit down, what wrong out in? I sit down to joke, or it just comes naturally to you?
I'm going to be art. I'm going to go. The camera may not be you know, because that's how it looks natural, and you know, as strong as I can fungwa still, you know what I mean? Because I mean, my jokes I don't go every day. Everyone can be a comedian. Almost everyone is a comedian. But it's just that he doesn't document it. It's like he's a comedian, but he is a comedian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Let's now go to Captain Mufombi, our very own Zimbabwean superhero. Tell me about Captain Mufombi. What do you like most about Captain Mufombi?
Well, I mean, I love how the kids respond to Captain Mufombi. Yeah, they love it. You know, I mean, it's their first superhero in Zimbabwe, and I mean, I just love to see the smiles on their faces, because I mean, it's a superhero Acharambari from now, you know what I'm saying? We are hoping to get more superheroes, you know what I'm saying, like the Avengers type of thing. Stations among Avengers, I mean, but you know, we'll make it work.
Okay, before you give us something, you know, I was watching last episode and I don't know if Wi-Fi Zangasimo, Asaga knows what I'm a super babies. Well, the floor is yours, Pro.
Yeah, alright, cool. Yeah. Okay. This is a song called Banga from the album 25. Kana Australians were. Nkwanza kuimba nini? Ekapusa. Song yevani. Ukati unataka chikora pakona. Dudzedu takamona. Ibanga iroro. Angwa chibuku ne angwa shampopo. Endgame racho kuspakwa. Ibanga iroro. Wachga mpungoro, wachga manuchu. As long as iwewe waguta. Ibanga iroro. Vakatumira peni wetumira meni. Avazi kukuziva mani. Ibanga iroro. Yeah. Ibanga iroro. Yeah. Ibanga iroro. Yeah. Zvino zuva racho zvaratongonyura. Njuga dzacho dzakamira. Ibanga ire. Yeah. Hazvina basa todonza tambo, nyangwe zvakaoma tochinja musambo, vanozviketa tocheka unge bemba, usambopererwa chinja mazano, usambomirira mani we, ramba uchicheka mani we, cheka masectings or cheka your balance, ramba uchicheka 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 uchi. Guys, come on. Ibanga iroro, as my music goes. Ibanga iroro. Yeah. Ibanga iroro. Yeah. Ibanga iroro. So banga iroro means everything. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're doing right now, it's fine. Any bus, any motor, as long as washika shete, you know. Ibanga iroro. Banga. Ibanga iroro. Ibanga iroro. Ibanga iroro. Ibanga iroro. Yeah. Ajga mupongoro, ajga manuchu. As long as we waguda. Ibanga iroro. Yeah. Wakatumira peni, we tumira meni. Awazi kukuziva mani. Yeah, man.
Thank you very much, a masterpiece coming from ProBits right there. Now back to football. The absence of local football has had a far-reaching impact in the nation. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the Warriors' preparations against the game with Botswana.
Being a landowner of sorts gives you some form of comfort and with the starting point at least. I'm Andrew Sirel, married to one wife, got 3 kids. Never saw myself owning a house. This came as a beautiful surprise.
Well, my parents didn't raise me to live with them forever. So just learning from watching them and other people around me, I'd always hoped that one day I would own my own home.
Partnership that we entered into is to enable positive futures for the population of Zimbabwe, to ensure that we contribute to the housing stock of the country and also reduce the national housing list. People who had never dreamt of owning a house, people who are in the informal sector, we enabled them to put a roof over their heads.
So it feels great to be a homeowner, particularly living in Zimbabwe where things are really difficult. It's great to know that I don't have to worry about the roof over my head. I was excited about when I actually signed the papers and they said, this is your home. Now I'm already thinking, what's next? I would definitely do it again if another opportunity came that worked. So I'd definitely encourage other people to take something like this on.
Welcome back. You are watching The Couch right here on ZTN. Remember, you can follow us on our Facebook page, Zim Papers TV Network, on YouTube, ZTN, and our website is ztn.co.zw. Now, with the absence of football, it is the Warriors who have suffered the most, and the locally based players are not fit to play. games shown by the way the Chan team and FC Platinum performed in Africa. To add to the disaster is the fact that the Warriors technical team is now sweating over the absence of a number of key European-based players. Teams. Now we'll cross over to UK-based football administrator Marshall Gore to give us his picture from that side. Mr. Gore, can you give us the picture in as far as UK-based players are concerned?
Yes, we're in a bit of a predicament regarding the new quarantine rules here in the UK, which prohibits people to travel to the red zone. And also, if they do travel and they live here in the UK, on their return, they're subjected into government-approved quarantine hotels for a period of 10 days. So effectively, for the footballers that were due to travel, this means that on their return from the international break, they will have to miss 10 days of training, which will effectively render the rest of their season ineffective. So as a result of this, we have a situation now where clubs have been given power with FIFA that if a player upon return has to be quarantined in the country of origin or upon the return in the country where they're coming for at least more than 5 days, then the club has got a right to refuse the player to participate in the international games. So this is a predicament that is affecting a lot of countries, not only Zimbabwe. I think the whole of South America is in the quarantine list.
Mr. Gore, generally, are UK-based Zimbabwe players are very keen to play for Zimbabwe, apart from those called by affected restrictions?
Well, our future is bright as far as integration of our diaspora-based players into our main national team. We have made a lot of progress in the last 3 years. I'm confident that we continue to receive contacts and information of new players expressing their willingness to play for the Zimbabwe national team. So I'm very much convinced that come the World Cup in 2026, I think we'll be in a much better position in terms of building a very strong, formidable team, which will integrate both local and international players, including the migrant players that are based elsewhere. I'm very confident that even of late, on our register, we have a lot of players that have expressed willingness. We have 2 players at Leeds, Ethan Kachosa, and also quite recently we have good news because Brendan Galloway, who's currently with Luton injured at the moment, has expressed his interest to play for the national team again. We are currently in the process of making the necessary arrangements to get his passport so that he can be eligible to play for the team. He has expressed. I've spoken with the player and he's very much keen and confident to represent his country. We have work in progress with players like Reece Nelson and Andy Rinomota, who's currently with Reading. There are ongoing discussions. It's a process. It's not an event. It will take time to gain their confidence also and sell the country to them. But I'm very confident that the programs we have in place and the vast scouting network that we have across the world will help us to harvest our best talent for our country.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Gore. Gentlemen, it's always good to get the picture from where it's happening. We want our players, but they have got a situation there, and Mr. Gore explaining there how the clubs have got an advantage this time around in as far as holding on to the players is concerned or releasing them. And he also goes on to give us an update on Zimbabwean players, their willingness to actually play for Zimbabwe. What is your take?
Well done to Masha for giving us that. It didn't have a problem. Zimbabwe. Negotiations over what? It's either you feel it or you don't feel it. Do you want to play for Zimbabwe? Yes, I want to. Do you want not to play for Zimbabwe? No, I don't want. Fair and fine. Why should we talk to you and you start asking, are there hotels in Zimbabwe? If you want to play, come and play. If you don't want to play, stay there and not play for England either. You know, this, maybe I'm not diplomatic enough, but look, this is all about passion, isn't it? When Knowledge Msona plays carrying an injury, he gets jabs, he's doing it because he loves to play. When Kama plays with an injury, he's doing it because he loves to play. When Peter Ndlovu came and he would arrive in Bulawayo around 1:30, get into BF, score 2 against Lesotho in Kosafa, wins a Man of the Match award, and he dedicates it to Francis Madziva. But you would have played in England the previous day. It's about the love for that striped flag, for that bird on the flag. So if these guys kana vachida kuti timbotanga matare kuti vayozotambire Zimbabwe look, really, we are not short of players. That's my school of thought.
Mo, when you were called to play for the Warriors, was there a negotiation that took place? Please come.
No.
May not be fit after 70 minutes and all.
No. I was very excited. You know, if you are not called, you start to think, am I really good enough? But I want to dismiss this premonition that players in the UK are better than players in Zimbabwe. Just because those guys were born in the UK, it does not mean that they're better than players in Zimbabwe. It does not mean that all Zimbabweans who are playing soccer in the UK can come and play for the national team. Marshall Gore has been throwing everyone who has got a Shona Senem to the national team. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I think we need to have proper assessment in place to make sure that anyone we want who is a very good player, who deserves to play for the national team, is called up. Not just anyone who has got a Shona or Ndebele Senem.
I think there's quite a mixture in as far as the UK-based players are concerned. You've got players like Rhys Nelson, you've got Jordan Zemura, Galloway. I think those are top players.
No, they are. They are Mugo. But Kanavasngade, Kavaregedze.
We cannot keep on begging for these guys to come play for the national team.
What we want, did you see the story in the Sunday Mail? They said, look, the Warriors camp started yesterday, and Aribo Suband was the only player in camp. And that's the kind of boy that we want. He traveled all the way from Bulawayo. The Shades got national team, later, and he came. In the hotel, he was the only one. That's the kind of commitment that we want. Yeah, because it's really, yes, you might have the talent, but if you don't have the heart then to play for us, you might as well chillax our work.
So, by Sunday, it will be very clear who is on and off the ship, and amid attempts to have some of the European teams change their decision. Key players affected include Aston Villa's Marvelous Nakamba, midfielder Marshall Mnetsi, Lyon striker Tino Kadewere, Wigan Athletic fullback Tendai Darikwa, and Bournemouth youngster Jordan Zemura.
Well, this week there was still hope Kadewere and Munet's situation could change, but what is certain is that the Warriors will be depleted. Now we are saying, what are the chances the Warriors could still hunt down the Zebras?
Now there is something interesting about Zimbabwe's back-to-back record against Botswana. From 1981, gentlemen, to 2009. Botswana were minnows. For the record, Zimbabwe won 8 games, drew 1, and only lost once against Botswana. But after 2009 to 2019, it was a totally different situation. They turned it around. Zimbabwe have just won 2 games. They've drawn 2, and we have lost 4. I remember last week, Marco, you were saying Botswana, we shouldn't even talk about it. We should just go to Botswana and win. But as things stand, Botswana are rising.
Yes, they are. But are they rising, or it is us falling? But something has happened along the way that you get to Gaborone now, and they have this belief that we can beat these guys because of what has happened in the past. But if the truth is to be told, as it should, Zimbabwe in any form must beat Botswana. Here at home, in Gaborone, or in Gabon, wherever we play, Zimbabwe should beat Botswana. And like I said the other week, Mugo, decisions need to be made. Are the goalkeepers coming? Maybe they are not.
if they come, should Ario be the player that guards go when Washington Arubi is doing the business in South Africa? I don't know. But decisions need to be made. There are days when you meet a coach and he says, today is not about how we do it, it's all about getting it done. I don't care whether we go to Botswana and play like Barcelona or play as boring football as, I don't know, Dynamos, Yana, Sunday, Uvarabore. Whatever needs to be done, let it be done and win that game.
Yeah, I prefer another narrative, though, to what you presented. You talked about 1981 to 2009. Yes, I would prefer the whole picture from 1980 to 2021, whereby Zimbabwe is 110, Botswana is 15. They are still minnows. We are supposed to beat them, and we will beat them. There's nothing that can stop Zimbabwe from beating Botswana right now. They are in the same predicament as we are. They do not have international stars. Their league has not been playing since March last year. They haven't started because they are also squabbling about the COVID funds that came in. And we are in the same predicament. So what's different? They are only getting their players from South Africa as like we are doing. So what's different? We've got an advantage that knowledge is coming from Europe. So what I don't know why we are so worried about Botswana. I really don't get it. No, we are just supposed to beat them.
Look, Mo, we are worried because we know how poor we can be. You know, we remember we are the team that struggled against Somalia because of the Kamite or something.
I think we will certainly bring you back after that 25, that March 25 match to really say more. This is what you were saying. These are the results on the table. So Botswana challenge is one that could help ensure Zimbabwe qualifies from Group H. Zdravko Logarusic and his men have to move mountains. Anything short of that could be disaster for the Warriors. Don't miss the couch next week as we go deep into really the lineup that Botswana could actually have against Zimbabwe. Remember, they played Zambia and lost 2-1. They then played against Zambia in Botswana. They turned it around, won 1-0. Very few changes in as far as their first 11 is concerned. They're made up of locally based players, a few foreign-based players from South Africa. So they will certainly be a team to contend with when they face Zimbabwe. I'm Govech Gada.
And I'm Shamincha Sweka. Thank you so much for watching. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show, and I just want to say thank you guys for coming through. Remember, we also had Pro Bits in the studio. He's still here. Before you close the show for us, Pro, I'm aware that you're going on tour this week. Is it?
Yeah.
Are you not sure?
I'm sure.
Yeah, can you tell us about that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have a couple of performances in South Africa. There's one in Cape Town and there's 2 in Joburg. So yeah, I'll be doing that for a week.
Great stuff. You must be excited. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, performing after quite a long time. It's been a year since, so I think it's going to be great.
All right, we've talked about music, we've talked about beatboxing, acting. What is it that you say, I enjoy this the most?
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a conflict because I enjoy all of them, I love all of it. And I've got other art forms that I haven't shared with people, and I can't wait to share that too as well. So yeah, there's more to it. There's more to Pro Beats.
All right, just to wrap up, what can we expect from Pro Beats 2021?
Oh, 2021, I mean, I haven't released music in a while, so 2021, I've been working on my sound, so it's going to be a lot of collaborations, a lot of music videos, a lot of, skits, movies, whatever it is, I mean, just expect some nice things.
Well, we can't wait for that. You can also tell your fans or people who would want to see you where they can find you on social media. Oh
yeah, it's Pro Beats Nation. People always say Pro Beats, but it's Pro Beats. Instead of an S, it's a Z. PROBEATZ Nation. Pro Beats Nation everywhere on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Pro. It was really great having you on the show. Hope
Thank
to
you so much for
see you
inviting me.
next time.
Next time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, please do close the show for us.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Makore manganu chitachi one day. Makore manganu chitachi one day. Makore manganu chitachi one day. Yeah. Makore manganu chitachi one day. Doda kuti ndinewe tite vana tiwande. Yeah. Tigare tiri tese seburugwa nebande. Yeah. Usandivharira pamidhi sankolo kante. Yeah. Ndichakukandira mawaya sababa divante. Yeah. I wanna write a story like Zefunde. Ini newe zvimwe usafunge. Garagara rikare wemfunge. Andichada kuva jaya mfunge. Haikuna kutarira pasi kana ndichiuya. Haikuna kutarira pasi mudiwa usanyara. Haikuna kutarira pasi kana ndichiuya. Haikuna kutarira pasi mudiwa usanyara. Yeah. Makore manganu chitachi one day. 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 Tarira pasi. Chi one day. Yeah. Chi one day.